Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw. And I gotta say, tonight's Raw wasn't that good of a show, in my opinion. There was a couple of, stuff that I enjoyed, some stuff that were shit, but it just wasn't that good of a show tonight. But there was a total of 9 matches tonight, and of course, Raw. There's always maybe 6 matches that are on the show every week, and there was a lot of commercials tonight, whole lot of commercials. But just Raw wasn't a good show tonight, in my opinion. But the show opened up with Roman Reigns coming out, saying how last week, was a big week for him, saying the Shield reunited and, how they took on New Day at Survivor Series, and, how he got an opportunity last week on Raw when he faced The Miz for the Intercontinental title, and, how he became the new Intercontinental champion last week. He goes on to say that he's a fighting champion and that this is his yard and, it's his championship. And he says to anybody, step up, and try to see if you could take the title away from me. And then out comes Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Bo says to Roman, how dare, you disrespect, Miz, who is the best Intercontinental champion. And Curtis, ends up getting on the mic, says, it pains him to see Roman with Miz's title. And then Curtis Axel says, oh, we got, we'll take care of that, since last week Roman beat Miz for the title. So Curtis was like, oh yeah, we'll take, we know somebody who could take that title, that Intercontinental title away. And then, lo and behold, out comes shitty Elias. And, he comes out saying, tonight he's going to take the Intercontinental title from Roman. And then Roman ends up saying, after tonight, Elias will be another one walking around with the neck brace. I'll get to explain that match when we get to it. But it was okay, opening segment to Raw tonight. Wasn't great or perfect though by any means. Sorry, just drinking a little water here. But it was okay. Opening to Raw. And first match tonight, it was Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. Opening to the match, started off a little bit slow, and then it picked up as it went. Really enjoyed Seth Rollins during this match. Cesaro was pretty good also. Seth Rollins won the match. They not landing to Cesaro. He needs Cesaro to score the win. But it was a good match. Really enjoyed it. Then we had, after the match, Charlie was interviewing Seth. She was saying, oh, is the Shield going in different directions, because Roman won the Intercontinental title last week. And, Seth says he's riding solo because Ambrose wasn't here tonight because he was on his honeymoon. So he was missing tonight. Sheamus was missing tonight because he was overseas doing some convention. But Seth says that, that Ambrose is on his honeymoon. And he also says that, Roman's title reign, with him holding the Intercontinental title, isn't really going to separate them. And he says, it's bringing them close together. And he says next week, him and Ambrose, will be one step closer to, to recapturing the tag team titles. So, but it was a good little interview with Rollins. And then after that, we saw Kurt Angle with Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, Akira Tozawa, and Mustafa Ali. And they're complaining about how Enzo is keeping them away from getting, an opportunity, giving one of them an opportunity at the cruiserweight title. And Kurt says to them that tonight there was going to be a fatal four-way match, and there's going to be a fatal four-way match next week. And so whoever wins tonight's fatal four-way will get to face the challenger who wins the fatal four-way next week. So it'll be a number one contenders match for whoever wins next week. So, and then whoever wins that match will be the number one contender to face Enzo for the cruiserweight title. So, and after that, it was Samoa Joe versus Titus O'Neil. This match was meh. Joe was dominated on Titus through the match, but we saw Titus come back and start throwing punches at Joe, but Joe came back and just pretty much dominated the match to the end. Joe won the match with the Coquina clutch, locked onto Titus. So, and then after the match, Apollo Crews, tries to take out Joe, but Joe ends up coming back and he locks in the Coquina clutch on Apollo. So, but anyways, the match was meh to me. And then it was supposed to be the 6-woman tag team match. Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville versus Bayley, Mickie James, and Sasha Banks. And Sasha ends up coming out to start the match, but then Paige, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose end up coming out. Paige comes out saying how a year ago she was the woman, and then she was the woman who erased the word diva from the WWE dictionary. And she goes on to say that she was the matriarch of the women's revolution. And she also goes on to say that last week she was making a statement to prove to the woman who she is, because some of the women in the women's division pretty much basically forgot about Paige. And we see that all three of them, Paige, Sonya, and Mandy, they took out Mickie James and Bayley backstage. They were injured and they couldn't compete. And so, all three of them come down to the ring. Mandy says that before, there was a boss and, the 4 horsewomen, or, a goddess and an empress, there was, Paige. And, when they came down, Alexa Bliss was on, commentary trying to get ready to watch this match, but she ended up going to the back when Paige, Sonya, and Mandy came out. She wanted nothing to do with them. So Sonya says that every woman has pushed the limit and has raised the game, and nothing would have been raised if it weren't for Paige. And Paige reveals that their new name for the three of them is Absolution, which to me it's kind of a meh kind of name, though. I mean, they could have picked a better name for the three of them. But Paige says to Sasha that she is going to, Sasha wants to pledge and be with them, or go to the back and help Mickie and Bayley. And Sasha then thinks about it, and then we just see her hit Paige, and then we see Sonya and Mandy beat the hell out of Sasha. Sasha tries to fight back, but she then gets, still beat down by Sonya and Mandy, and also Paige. So all three of them just lay out Sasha and take her out. So, but did enjoy this segment. Really liked it. Paige looked good tonight. Mandy Rose looked good tonight. Both of them looked good. And but it was a good segment. I really liked it. And but only to me they missed an opportunity to turn Sasha heel, because it would have been a perfect opportunity for her to align with them, with Paige and Sonya and Mandy, but it was a missed opportunity for them to do that. It would have been cool to see. So, but like I said, it was a good segment, and I really liked it. Then after that, Bray Wyatt returned tonight, very randomly, because Bray was out. He was he had the mumps, and along with Roman Reigns, who also had the mumps, because both of them had matches to be in at TLC, but they couldn't compete because of that. So really cool to see Bray return tonight, and he ended up coming out, doing a promo saying, oh, he never had a childhood and never celebrated holidays, and he never cared about that, and he goes on to be crazy and say, oh, you're all dead, or like that, and out came Matt Hardy, and led to the match, Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy, and this was a decent match. Really enjoyed the end of it, though, which was really cool to see. But it was back and forth between Bray and Matt. Matt Hardy did a pretty good job in the match, trying to keep down Bray. But in the end, Bray Wyatt won with Sister Abigail to Matt Hardy to score the win. And then we get to what happened after the match, which was awesome. The crowd starts chanting for Matt, and then we just see Matt go crazy in the ring, and then he's just chanting, he's just saying delete, and the crowd is just going delete, and then he goes crazy, and then he unleashes broken Matt Hardy, which I've heard things about that. I never watched TNA. I hate TNA, but now it's called GFW Impact. But heard pretty good things about the broken Matt Hardy gimmick when he was in TNA, and it took Matt a while for him to bring it to WWE, because the broken gimmick was copyrighted by TNA, and so they had to go to court for him to get the rights back to using the broken gimmick. So, but it looks like it's coming into play. Looks like we're going to see broken Matt Hardy soon. I think this is a good time for them to do the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, and then have him go up against Bray Wyatt, and it's going to be two guys who are one guy is freaky and the other guy is just crazy. So this is a perfect opportunity right now to see broken Matt Hardy. So it's coming into play. I can't wait to see how this unfolds. But all in all, it was a decent match between Bray and Matt. And then we see, after that, we saw Jason Jordan with Kurt Angle saying, he wants this opportunity to take on Kane. And so, Kurt then makes it official, saying that Jason Jordan will take on Kane tonight. So it was a little segment with Jason Jordan and Kurt Angle. Then we got to the Cruiserweight match, the Fatal 4-Way match. It was Rich Swann versus Akira Tozawa, Noam and Ariaya Daviari. And this was a good match. This was an entertaining Fatal 4-Way match. It was back and forth between them. We saw Akira Tozawa on the top rope, and they just suplexed Tozawa, because it was Tozawa and Rich Swann on the top, and then we saw them just hit a suplex, and Tozawa took the brunt of that, and Rich Swann won the match, won the Fatal 4-Way match. He hit the Phoenix Splash on Noam to score the win. So Rich Swann won this week's Fatal 4-Way, and we gotta see next week who wins that Fatal 4-Way match next week. So I'm really happy that Rich Swann won the match. My picks to win were either, I knew it was going to be Rich Swann or Tozawa to win the match tonight. So I'm really happy that Rich Swann won tonight. And like I said, it was a good match. It was a good Fatal 4-Way match. It was entertaining. The match flowed really good. And then we get to this. Elias is in the ring like always, doing his shit with singing. He's singing to The Miz. He has a song for The Miz, who's out, for maybe like a few months because Miz is filming the Marine 6, so he's out for that, and he's doing that new season of the challenge. But Elias is, dedicating the song to Miz. Bo and Curtis are in there. They're helping out Elias. We had Bo with the harmonica, and this was torture to sit through. This whole segment was torture to sit through. It went on for like 10 minutes. It was just pure torture. It was so bad. It was fucking cringeworthy. Sorry about that, but I was saying, this whole segment was cringeworthy. It was shitty. Went on for like 10 minutes. So, and then, Roman Reigns ends up coming out. And then we had the match when Raw came back from commercial. Roman Reigns versus Elias. And as much as I wanted to hate this match, I have to say, this was a good match. I have to say this was the best match of the night. I I'm not a fan of Elias. You could tell that right now. But in this match, I'll admit it. He was pretty good in this match. They made him look strong during this match against Roman. And it was back and forth between the both of them. And the match itself was good. Like I said, as much as I wanted to hate this match, I couldn't, because both these guys put on a good match. Doesn't mean doesn't mean I'll be a fan of Elias. Still not a fan of him. But I gotta say, they made him look strong during the match. But Roman Reigns, you had at one point where the Miz was trying to interfere in the match, but Roman kept him down. But Roman Reigns got the match with the spear to Elias. So Roman Reigns retains the Intercontinental title. So, but like I said, it was a good match. It was a good match. I have to say it was the best match of the night, in my opinion. And then you had, after the match, Joe comes out of nowhere and locks in the Coquina Clutch on Roman. And so now we're going to pretty much get Roman versus Joe. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. Maybe we'll get that at Clash of Champions, where the Intercontinental title will be on the line, and it'll be Roman versus Joe. So that's gonna be awesome to see. And then we get to the third hour. This is pretty much during the third hour. This was really a struggle to get through during this third hour. You could tell they really struggled on how to create this third hour. The next match was Asuka versus Dana Brooke, and pretty much Asuka just defeated Dana Brooke with the Asuka lock in 10 seconds. This really wasn't a match. It was just, okay, match starts, Asuka, Asuka jumps on Dana, hits the Asuka, puts the Asuka lock on Dana, and that's it. Dana Brooke tapped out. Match is over in 10 seconds. Pretty much this match was nothing. So, last week we saw this, and now this week. So, but pretty much it was nothing. It was a nothing match. It was 10 seconds. Then we had, after that, Jason Jordan ended up coming out saying how, severe his knee injury is. And, he says that he feels his knee is 100% and that he's going to shut down Kane. That ends up bringing out Kane. And so this match was Kane versus Jason Jordan. Waste of time. This match was a waste of time. Nothing good happened in this match. It's just back and forth between Kane and Jason Jordan. And then you got to the point where Kane just throws Jason Jordan out of the ring. Jason Jordan ends up injuring his knee again. And Jason Jordan says, "Oh, my knee is 100%." Clearly not. Clearly, it's not 100%. Because we saw it right here. Kane threw you out. Kane threw you out of the ring, and your knee still injured. So Kane won the match by count out because Jason Jordan couldn't get back in the ring. Then after the match, you had Kane lay Jason out with a kick to the face, throws him out of the ring again. Jason Jordan injures his knee more. And, we just see Kane just beat down on Jason's knee. Then Finn Balor ends up coming out to make the save. And then pretty much we get another match. Finn Balor versus Kane. And this was okay. We saw, Finn Balor, trying to take down Kane. But Kane ended up, hitting Finn with the chair. Which caused a disqualification. So Finn Balor wins the match by disqualification. Then, after the match is over, after the match got disqualified, Kane ends up, he keeps hitting Finn with the chair. And then we saw Kane put the chair around Finn's neck, the same thing like he did with Strowman last week. And he goes to jump from the top, like he's trying to jump from the top and then, injure Finn's neck. Then Braun Strowman ends up coming out. Kane ends up hitting Braun with the chair. and Braun doesn't get fazed by it. He ends up getting pissed, and we see Braun just hit Kane. He hits Kane, kicks him, and he just rams into Kane. And then we just see Braun hit Kane with the steel steps. He ends up bringing one of the steps into the ring. He hits Kane with a chair a few times. And then he just ends up slamming Kane into the steps. Power slamming him into the steps. Then we see Braun ended up putting the chair around Kane's throat. He pretty much, like I said, Braun put the chair around Kane's throat, and just like last week, just like what Kane did to him last week, Braun rammed Kane into the steps, and he did it twice, which Braun's getting his payback from Braun's getting his payback for what Kane did to him last week when Kane did that to him. And pretty much, after that, we just saw Kane run through the crowd to the back, and then Braun Strowman was the only one standing in the ring, and that ended the show. So it was good. It was a good way to end the show. I liked how Strowman, came back. He did, and he did, what Kane did to him last week. So, as you say, I would say, karma is a bitch. So, but yeah. So, anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow night for my SmackDown review, which hopefully it would be a much better show than Raw tonight. So until the next video, I'll see you all tomorrow night for my SmackDown review.